Hi, I'm Pam Fox at pamfox.org, and I'm streaming live on YouTube into the plantar reflux Facebook group. Dang it, hang on just a second. Anyway, and I'll be sharing this with my friends doing the Eat Your Vegetables challenge. Today it's stormy, it's rainy, it's blustery. I'm not sure if this will even work, but we'll try it and see. But today I'm not gonna be doing a recipe from the plantar reflux cookbook. I'm gonna be making a soup, and this is something that I commonly do. A lot of us do it where we just kind of throw a lot of these things we need to use up into a pot and make a soup. So this is like a vegetable soup. It could certainly be adapted for plantar reflux. Most everything I put in this is approvable. I might throw in a can of tomatoes or something like that at the end. We'll see. So let's go ahead and get started. I actually have like an apple dessert in my Instant Pot, and you guys know how I love my Instant Pot. So I'm going to be cooking this soup on the stovetop today, which is really similar to the Instant Pot. You just chop and drop all of your vegetables in. I really need new knives. I'm not happy with my knives. I'm going to use a serrated knife. So I'm just chopping up a leek here. And I've already got my my pot nice and hot. So I'm just going to chop and drop these things into a soup. So this is a leek, which of course is approved for plantar reflux or for people with reflux, unless of course you know that you don't do well with leeks. Then you would want to omit this and use something like fennel, which isn't an oniony, doesn't have an oniony flavor, but it's a substitute that works, and it works well for a lot of people. Is it the same? No, it's not the same as onions, but it's still going to give you something to substitute out your onion, or you can just leave out the onion altogether. I know to some people that's a cardinal sin, but I hardly ever cook with onions anymore. I like these leeks. Occasionally, I don't know, certain things I just like to put an onion in there, but I don't know. But I'm one that's never really been a big fan of onions anyway. So for me, leaving out onions was never that big of a deal. So this is going to be a pretty big pot of soup because I've got a lot of food here that I want to use up. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you've just got things in the refrigerator. Like I'll talk about that next, but I've just got several things here that are on the brink. They're on the edge. They need to be used. Use it or lose it. And I don't like to waste food, but sometimes, you know, you waste food. You forget about that one thing that's in the back of the corner of your refrigerator, and when you find it, it's bad and it's got to be thrown out. So it's already smelling really good. So today I wanted to avoid having to throw so many things out. So this is one, I bought it, it's already past its expiration date. This is Tempeh by West Soy. And I rarely ever buy tempeh, but when I do, I like this brand because it's just soybeans. I mean, in the ingredients, there's very few ingredients in it. I don't have my glasses on, but it's cultured organic soybeans and water. And so, I try to stick to whole plant foods, but occasionally I like to buy these things because I have a few recipes that I like. Today I just want to use this up, so what I'm going to do, if you can see, is I'm just going to crumble this right into the pot with my onion. Or my leek. It just kind of breaks down into these like little soybeans, is all it is. So soy is approved on an anti-reflux diet. If if you're sensitive to soy, or you don't like soy, or you're allergic to soy, of course you wouldn't want to cook with it. But all of the research I've done on soy, people are always arguing and saying different things about soy. I think it really comes down to what kind of soy you're eating. If you're eating organic whole forms of soy like tofu or soy, as opposed to a soy derivative. A lot of these studies that they did on soy where they came out with a negative conclusion, they used a soy derivative. Which is what? A soy derivative is, you know how when they take sugar cane, for example, you start with the sugar cane, which is a healthy whole food, a wonderful healthy whole food. But then they process it and they pull out just the sugar, right? And everything else, the fiber, you know, that doesn't go into your white table sugar. It's just the sugar. Well, that's all a soy derivative is they take the soybean and they highly process it and pull out the protein, and that's what's known as a soy derivative. So when they do some of these research, that's an easily available way to do research is with like a soy protein powder, which is a soy derivative. Anyway, the studies done on whole forms of soy, such as organic tofu, or in this case tempeh, they find in cultures that eat those foods are actually, you know, they do really well, they don't have issues, and they're very healthy people, especially women who eat a lot of soy, natural plant estrogens that are in soy. All right, so right now, you guys, if you follow me, you know I love my sweet baby bell peppers. I keep these in the freezer, and I just run a little bit of warm water on them to defrost them, and throw them in just about any stir fry or soup that I make. I think they add a lot of beautiful color and flavor. And it's nice because sometimes when you buy like a bell pepper and the recipe calls for, you know, a half a cup of chopped bell pepper, you don't use the whole thing. And then you throw it in your refrigerator and you forget about it. This way you can just take out and use what you need. All right, so far we've just got the leek, the tempeh, and the peppers. Now I already chopped up a couple of carrots. I'm going to throw that in there. What else? I've got some organic sliced mushrooms here that need to be used up. And I'm going to go ahead and just give these a further, kind of a rough chop, so they're a little bit more bite-sized. Now, I love mushrooms. I love them in stir fries. I love them in soups. So I'm going to put a lot in here. So give me 1 second. Chop these and drop these. Hope everybody's staying warm and dry today. I live out here on the West Coast, and here where I live, we've had a lot of wind, and we're expecting more wind, although originally it's supposed to be a really big storm, and it's kind of settled down a little bit. They're not anticipating it to be quite as big as they thought. So, but I went out and got batteries for my flashlight, and I'm ready just in case. And I'm making a big pot of soup, which should last me a couple of days. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just throw all those in there because I don't want to have those leftovers. All right, I actually have a fresh bag of kale here for my Three's Company smoothie that's in the cookbook. You guys have seen me make that many times. I'm going to throw some of this in there just for fun. I'll just throw a big handful of that in there. I might chop that up. Oh, I forgot my celery. I need to do the celery. I should have put that in. I should have put that in before the carrots to get it going, but that's okay. If you guys are wondering if I ever drop food taking this across the floor like that, yeah, I do. I drop food all the time. Constantly cleaning up in here. All right, that's looking very vegetable soupy. What else? Okay, I also have some potatoes here that I actually cooked in the Instant Pot yesterday. So they're all done. I'm just going to cut them. They're already cooked, so I'm just going to cut these and put them in. Potatoes and mushrooms are probably my favorite part about a vegetable soup. But I mean, it's really everything that goes into it is that what makes it taste so good and gives it different levels of flavor. I'm going to be putting in a Tuscan Italian seasoning blend that I get from my local spice pantry. I'll show you that in a second. That's what's going to give it a lot of flavor as well, obviously, of the herbs. I'm also going to be putting in some flat leaf parsley because I love it in soups. These are just those little Yukon Gold potatoes. You could put sweet potatoes in your soup. You could put yams in your soup. Squash would be really good. Zucchini. Sweet potatoes and yams are nice if you just put in a little bit because it just adds that little bit of another, like that little bit of a sweetness to it. And then every now and then you bite into that little bit of a sweetness and it's like, oh, what's that little bit of a sweetness in my soup? So here we have Italian flat leaf parsley. I'm going to do just a nice size handful. Maybe a little bit more than that. And let's throw some corn in here. I always keep corn in my freezer. And I actually think I have some frozen peas in there too, so we'll add a little bit of frozen peas in as well. I get these at Costco and they're organic. It's kind of nice to keep them on hand for just this occasion. All right, I'm sure I'm forgetting something. Oh, I also have red cabbage. I would think it's questionable because it's a couple weeks old, but it smells perfectly fine. I'm going to put some of that in there. This is a fresh cabbage. I'm not even going to put that in there because my pot is filled to the brink. I like to add pasta into my vegetable soup. I actually have some pre-cooked pasta here that I made yesterday because I like to put handfuls of this into my big salad. We'll put a little of that in there, but literally I'm running out of room. So let's go ahead and add the seasoning. This is just a local blend from a local spice pantry, and I think I'm going to take that off. I'm just going to do like a whole palmful like that. Let me see. Like so. Okay, so here's the part where we would add our liquid. Now, for those of you doing the plantar reflux challenge, you know, and you're really trying to watch your eliminating foods that commonly trigger reflux, you would want to make your own broth. I'm just going to be throwing in some store-bought broth today. This does have onions in it. Most store-bought broths do. So just keep that in mind. It's really simple to make your own, but I have this in the pantry and I'm just going to use it. Like so. And then I also have, if you guys remember when I did that food haul, I was trying out the Hungry Root, which is a food delivery service. This is one of the things that came in that. It's just a superfood tomato sauce, and it's just got tomatoes and a few spices in it. And I use this for one of the recipes, and then there's still like half a bag left. So I'm going to throw that in there as well. I know for those of you that are sensitive to tomatoes, you wouldn't want to put this in there, but I'm not sensitive to tomatoes, so I just want to give this up. course, you could throw some beans in here and do more like a minestrone type of a vegetable soup. All right. Well, I can tell right now this is going to need a lot more liquid. So probably what I'll do is I'll cook this down and then I'll add more liquid. I'll probably make a little bit of broth, add more broth, and put it into 2 pots. But I'm going to be working on this for a couple of days. So I'll just give you guys a little peek of what it looks like. This is a big pot. There's a lot of vegetables. And there's just not a lot of liquid in there. So I'm going to have to add more liquid to this. So I will go ahead and just add some more broth to that. And then I'm going to top it. I'm going to bring it to a boil, simmer it for about 15 to 20 minutes, and it'll be done. And my Instant Pot already beeped, which means my apple strudel dessert that I made, which is basically just apples, maple syrup, oatmeal, and a variety of cinnamons and apple or pumpkin pie spices and that kind of thing. So, and I threw some frozen blueberries in there as well. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day.